Welcome to the video on participatory project development. Students are making project under the software group project where 2, 3 or multiple students are developing the project. In this video, the 2 points are covered. The first point is software requirement specification. What is software requirement specification and how to document, how to write SRS. The second point is documenting project development lifecycle. So this will focus if the multiple students are involved into a development of any project, how they will collaborate with each other, what work they each have to do, and what are the deadlines. So that we'll discuss in documenting project development lifecycle. So the first point arises over here. What is software requirement specification? So firstly, it specifies customer requirement. So for example, this is a developer, software developer, and this is a customer. The customer may be the non-techie guy as well, but he wants to develop some product as a software. But the software developer, if he is not able to understand well, then he cannot develop the software as per the customer requirement. This is customer and this is developer. So the developer has to approve with the customer, this is my requirement. So for that it has to document the requirements stated by the customers. Then this developer has to give this document to his development team, which will further write software code and validate the code, and further the delivery will be given to the customers. So this SRS is very crucial, or it's a very important document whenever any developer or any team starts project development. It lists out the requirements stated by the customers. It may list out the user stories. It may list out some constraint. It will list out some users involved into the requirement collection, and everything we'll see one by one. It also specifies how to conduct a requirement. It also specifies functional requirement and non-functional requirement, and it also specifies how to write quality story such a way that this developer team can understand and then can write efficient code of that product. This is a probably standard template for documenting software requirement specification. I will take one sample example and then show point by point what can be included in software requirement. So this is a format, so that will be available on the lab side, and this is actual document we have collected for one company that is under the project Inspection Data Capture System, IDCS. So this is the first page where the software requirement specification title is as under for the project name, the version 1.0, prepared by you can write author names, organizations belongs to, date created on the first page, that is of software requirement specification. On the second page, table of content, as per the requirement or as per the need of the project, you may include or you may remove certain points over here, that we'll see one point by point. So I'm not going to cover all these table of contents over here. Revision history, if you want to keep revision history, you can keep over here, and this history should be same or should be extended for all the documents. Let's start with the introduction. In introduction, purpose is clearly stated. The student has to mention the purpose of this project, what is need of this project, and also the background of the company if it is a company. Otherwise you can write down the brief product introduction. So that is also covered over here. That's introduction. This is the introduction of quality. This project is related to quality inspection, so we have specified the quality parameters over here as part of introduction. The next we can specify the document conventions as if it is there is a specialized conventions are used in document, you can use a document convention over here. Especially if the table names are highlighted with bold or it's italic, you can mention over here. Table names are written in italic. Table names are in italic. So all these conventions you can highlight over here. Intended audience and reading suggestions that you may have you may write over here who are the actual users. So that is mentioned over here. Intended users. So that is users are quality manager and quality inspector. In this project there are two users, the manager and inspectors, both are having a different roles and responsibility. Manager will be or it is performing role of daily routine work, while the inspector is focusing on the quality parameters and whether it is quality going up or down. So decision making will be the responsibility of quality inspector, but daily routine is the responsibility of quality manager. So that comes under the intended users. The project scope, you can write down the scope of the projects. You can write down the benefits, objectives and goals of these projects. So scope is given over here. The IDCS module reduces the efforts to prepare inspection sheet by reducing existing inspection parameter list from the software. So we have defined a scope that the list which we have discussed during the requirement collection, the software will work on those list only. ICDS generates the inspection report only. IDCS will not generate any other kind of reports. That is the project scope. The references, you may specify the web addresses for which you have referred certain web addresses to document this process, or some technical references you can specify over here. So over here the references we have taken as the person, because we have contacted 3 persons over here, so that's a person names are mentions over here. That whole document is validated by all these 3 persons. That's why we have mentioned as a references over here. So you may include either the websites or any other technical tutorial sites, not tutorial but where you have seen some product references, that you can mention over here. Overall description, that gives product perspective. If it is a product, you can write down the detail about the product, whether it's a replacement of certain existing system or it's a new or self-contained product, you can mention over here. In this document, it's a newly developed product, so straight away we have started with the product features. The next point is product features, and very important parameters over here, it's a product features. So over here there are 5 product features mentioned over here: set design parameter, fetch item detail, inspection approval or rejection, recording inspection detail, and download a report or report download. So all those 5 features are later on mapped with each and every use cases. So just for sake of understanding, I am going on the downside of this page. Set design parameter, this is first use case, the use case for set design parameter. So for this use case there will be one GUI. This GUI will help to design some design parameters. So what happens when when it is available on menu click, basic path will be available over here, post condition is available here. That's use case. We'll discuss when we discuss use cases over here. So these product features, please keep in mind, if you mention over here, there has to be some use case down the line of this report. Then it's a user classes or characteristic. If you have developed or if you have used any classes, then you can mention over here. The classes will help in development cycles. For 3rd semester and 4th semester, we have not put a requirement to write down classes, but for 5th semester onwards, as the students are learning software engineering, it's a mandatory to put user classes over here. This is another example of SRS. That is under the title or the project name is Web-Based Training Program Management. Its version is 1.0. Developed by Kruti ma'am, Ashwin sir and Ritesh. This is the content. We'll see the content detail one by one. The first introduction portion will contain purpose, project scope, end users and references. The detailed description will contain the software product functionality, accessibility, product development, assumption and dependency. Project design will contain whole project design, and annexer will contain some reports. So let's see. The list of figures are also specified over here in this SRS. List of tables is also included. So as I discussed, as and when required, you can include or omit certain things in this SRS. But SRS, the document has to be such a way that if I give it to the any developer or any users, they can understand each and every aspects of what is written in document. If it is given to the developer can straight away start developing, and if it is given to customer can understand what the product will do. That has to be stated in software requirement specification. So this introduction is given. So that's a project for District Institute for Education and Training. This organization is training the teachers. It's offering train the trainer program. Under this, the purpose of the train the trainer program is mentioned over here. What are the points and what are the problems they have, why this product is developed, that is mentioned over here. Scope is mentioned over here. This is for diet Anand only, because there are many diet all over Gujarat and India as well. So scope is limited to diet Anand only. Certain users are having they are not good in English, but our software we have put into a scope that the software will be developed or it will give everything in English language only, and this can be enhanced to private school or extended for the private school as well. End users are administration staff, taluka center staff and school principal or admin. The references we have collected requirements from these involved peoples. Detailed description, login facility, admin user, what must be the users of login, types of login or types of users, that is mentioned over here. And what are the functionality, candidate search functionality, teacher enrollment functionality, program entity functionality, reports, various reports, and certificate generation functionality. So these all 6 are the functional requirement that is listed under software product functionality. The accessibility, that's a user-wise accessibility or the responsibilities covered over here, same way as the previous document. The product development environment is also specified. MySQL and backend. MySQL works as a backend and PHP works as a front end. Assumption and dependency is also mentioned over here. Project design is a third phase. It's a new teacher enrollment. That's the first use case, is a new teacher enrollment. And in this we have mentioned the handwritten GUI over here. That is also permitted. So because initially you may have revisions of your design, so you may opt for this paperwork, and then if it is required by the company or your customer, you may convert into you can prepare into either Excel sheet or Paint. This is second functionality, candidate detail listing. So please keep in your mind over here some examples are given, but you should take the real examples over here. Do not take some random value IJK over here, or name 1, name 2, date 1, date 2. Do not keep those kind of parameters. Please keep the real names over here. This is GUI for new training programs. If there is new training programs to be developed, what must be there, that is mentioned over here. What are the fields which user has to enter. Program listing, it will list the number of programs over here, and we can make edit, delete and view over here. Detail can be seen by clicking on the view. If you want to edit something, you can click on the edit button, and if you want to delete that program, you can click on the delete button over here. So 3 buttons will be available over here, that's mentioned in this GUI. Training program detail, that's each and every, if you click on the view button, it will specify the details over here. Participant candidate list, if any program attended by participant, those list of participant or candidate will be listed over here. attendance can be taken from this GUI. Cart or training program candidate selections can be performed by this GUI. Then various summary report, that is advice or requested by customer, that is listed over here. So it is listed as it is they are using in the existing manual system. So this is table 3.1 we have taken. Then this is program activity review. So those reports are given by, or it's a customer requirement, detailed information of training programs. These are the specially customer requirements. Our product must give this report once it is operational. This is one more sample of SRS for school management system. Table of quantity is not documented well over here, but let's go to the introduction. It gives introduction of school management system, and it has three modules: students, academic, and employee at abstract level. The objectives are what it does and what kind of problems it solves, that's mentioned over here. Intended users will be the principals and teachers. In this specific product, we have not kept the students as intended users because they are the school boys, so that's why may not have access to phone or internet. Project scope is mentioned over here, that's related to principal and teachers. References, so that we have communicated with these persons to develop this product. Overall description, that will the product features same way the system feature as we saw in the last two samples. It's student management, attendance management, fees management, result management, and employee payroll management. So all those GUIs will appear in subsequent use case diagrams. Usage by different users, we have fix or freeze the roles and responsibility of each user when they use this product. Operating environment, it is same way as the previous project. User documentation, training will be provided. Assumption and dependency, no assumption dependency are made. System feature, the first use case is add student detail. The student will be added over here. Then this is a GUI of new student master. This can be designed in MS Paint or MS Excel. Google Spreadsheet facilitates to design this GUI. We will see while the second part how to document or document the life cycle of any product, that we will see. This is for use case for the second use case for view or edit student. Same way, add attendance. These are the basic path, post condition, others. Use case for view attendance, trigger, basic path, post condition, and others. Use case for add subject. So similar way we can have all others GUIs included in your SRS. Till so far we have discussed about what is software required specification and what must be added or included in each point of software requirement specification. The next part is documenting a project development life cycle. Actually this part will start and it will end once you deliver your product. So this is starting point and ending point, and meanwhile you can prepare SRS over here, and then project development and delivery. This is delivery of product. So this is very crucial point to understand and to document the project development life cycle. It starts when you interact with the first meeting, or when you interact with the first time with the customers. More or less, the project or any project will have a following components. The first is edit window, where the GUI comes into picture. The second one, business logic, the rules and regulations, or that will the form the middle tier. The data storage, that is database, and the last one is reports. There are three types of reports basically: the listing report, summary report, and pre-formatted report. It does not mean only the 3 types of reports. There may be many types of reports you may include in your software project as and when necessary. But these are the basic types of report: listing report, summary, and pre-formatted report that we'll see later on. The first part is edit window. In edit window, as we saw in SRS, some GUI is mentioned and some labels are mentioned, then text box, some labels, another label, and radio buttons, some labels, and then paragraph box are mentioned, some labels, and then combo box are mentioned. The radio buttons are also mentioned, checkbox, multiple selections. If your GUI have, then it is also you can also mention this GUI. So this edit window that serves as the first stage between you and your customer. The customer will state the requirement: I want to add a students, or the product has to facilitate entry of students into a software. So we have to specify this student enrollment, and we have to design the number of items and type of items with this text box, either paragraph or combo, radio or checkbox, and it has to be validated with customers. The customer says that I want certain change, that you can incorporate those changes into this GUI. So that will serve as a first point between you and your customers. Next is business logic. At least 3-tier architecture is supposed to be developed by the students at every time. Normally, if students write any program in C language, that's a 1-tier architecture. Any C program without any storage or without any file IO, it's a single tier, 1-tier architecture. And if user develops a web-based application using PHP and MySQL, there is no other interface, or from PHP directly the query is triggered in MySQL, and from the MySQL data comes to the PHP page. So that comes under 2-tier architecture. And under the 3-tier architecture, you can mention over here, you can see over here, the web presentation layer means GUI comes over here, and the one layer, that is a data definition language, comes over here, where the form may be treated as object, and object is passed as application layer, and from object all the sub fields, text box, radio button, value of combo box, all those are retrieved, and the insert query or edit query will be triggered into a database layer. So that's query formulation, query retrieval will be taken care by this application layer, where the presentation layer just engage into a showing data and submitting to the application layer as a single object. So that is the 3-tier architecture. So it is expected that student try to develop all the projects under the 3-tier architecture. The next portion is data storage. In this point we will include all the things related to database and database design as well. Normalization, if it is needed, you can perform normalization. Otherwise, you can non-normalize it. Certain or many of the times, non-normalized data may be meaningful over here as well. So unnecessary normalizations are not advised, but in case it is needed to meet the certain requirements of the users, you have to normalize and you have to optimize the query. So the first steps in coding a database over here, the coding standard has to define a table name. There has to be a coding standard to define table name and internals of table. So use camel caps. This is coding standard. Camel caps indicates there is no space between two words, and the first letter of each word is capital. So that is camel caps coding standard. The no space in the name of the table and the field of column of table. It has to be meaningful name. There should not be any short name. It has to be meaningful name. Use TBL for prefix for table, and use VW prefix for view, and so forth for subsequent any other items.